would say one of the biggest challenges with our food system is just that we've become so disconnected from our food. We are so separated that we don't even want to touch raw meat that we buy at the grocery store. We've created systems around convenience instead of systems around knowledge and wisdom. I think the further we become disconnected from our food, the less value that we place on the food itself, but also the less value that we ultimately place on our own bodies and like the value of our bodies. When we're super disconnected from our food, it's really easy for us as consumers to become confused about labels at the grocery store. We don't really understand what cage-free means. We don't really understand what organic means. We certainly don't understand what regenerative means. And so we're just constantly pulling at like, well, what feels the best to us? But when you experience what those claims actually mean, it's so much easier to make a decision at the grocery store or online when you're purchasing your food. The quality of the food that we put into our bodies matters. These are like decisions. And some people will decide for that, and some people will be like, I don't care. But once you have this aha moment of like, what I put in my body has a direct impact on X, Y, and Z in my own health journey, or X, Y, and Z in my husband's health journey, or X, Y, and Z in the animal that I'm consuming's health journey, you know, like it's like an awakening that you can't like unsee, can't unlearn, which I think is what's so crazy about Force of Nature. I feel like that's what we're trying to do, is like we're trying to put information out there that people can't unlearn. You know, like because once you see it, you can't go back. Taking ownership and control over our own health is something that you can't expect a company to provide you. It's really like something that you are responsible for, and you have to go down the rabbit hole in it. But we had a bison harvest, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, and a girl showed up and she hadn't eaten meat in 27 years, and she was infertile, she was struggling with all types of autoimmune issues, blah, 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 blah. But she like couldn't bring herself to going to the grocery store and buying meat. And she was like, I owe it to like myself, and I owe it to the animal that I consume to like watch this process happen before I consume it. And I just like so admired that she like that she sought out connecting to her food in such a deep way. And I feel like that's what we all sort of owe to ourselves is, I mean, like, food is such an intimate experience. It's something we do 3 times a day. It literally fuels us and ages us and heals us or poisons us. Like, it is everything. And I feel like we owe it to ourselves to like dive super deep down the rabbit hole of trying to connect back to our food, whether that's connecting back to the food, like the rancher where it came from, like going to your farmer's market and shaking their hand, or whether that's hunting your own food, or whether that's having your own garden. You know, like finding ways just to get so tight on where your food is coming from. So regenerative agriculture is a form of agriculture that seeks to work with Mother Nature instead of working against her. I think one of the most important things that we do at Force of Nature is educate consumers. And so we really want to connect consumers to the ranches that we're supplying from. And so introducing these people, as families, and not just as cogs in a wheel. So it's really our job at Force of Nature to tell their stories in a beautiful way, to like honor them and honor their animals and honor their land. A big part of what we do at Force of Nature is connect consumers to the animals that they're consuming. You know, telling stories around these beautiful lives that have truly lived for us to thrive. You know, like they have basically made a sacrifice in order for us to have more energy. What a beautiful sacrifice that truly is. And so, you know, to really honor the animal, it's not just telling stories about the animal, but it's also, as a company, we really encourage like full utilization of the animal. At Force of Nature, we have a core value that is to honor the land, honor the animals, and honor the stewards of both. And I feel like that's just like so encompassing as to what we do for consumers. It's like we are doing that hard work for them, and they can feel good about the products that they consume because of that. Every time that somebody buys a pack of Force of Nature, they are contributing to a thriving ecosystem. You know, like at Force of Nature, we're really doing the hard work in terms of ensuring that all of our suppliers are doing the right thing all the time. And so they can trust that what they're purchasing has been vetted. You know, not everybody has an opportunity to own land and to manage land, but I do feel like everybody still has an opportunity to have an impact on land with every purchase that they make at the grocery store, whether they're buying vegetables or meat or something in the middle of the grocery store. Like we have the choice, we have the free will to put our values where our dollars are and purchase products that really align with our values of sustainability and regenerative agriculture and proper management of lands and proper management of people. I really think about like the cycles of the ecosystem and repairing like water cycles, the nutrient cycles, the energy cycles. And every time that I see a package of our meat, like I feel confident that that animal was contributing to regenerating those systems. We are completely obsessed with like this outcome-based model. So we are not okay with people just saying, I did these things, I am regenerative. We want to see that the practices that people are having on their land are actually making a difference. And typically that means, you know, like we want to see data on water infiltration, and we want to see data on organic matter, and we want to see photos. And we actually, it's not just photos. Like I think one thing that I'm so proud of, that makes Force of Nature super unique, is that like we have never sourced from a piece of property that we haven't put our feet on the ground at and shaken the hand of the rancher that has been raising those animals. Like that is such a critical component of our company. I feel like the people at Force of Nature are just like a totally different breed of human beings. They are the most dedicated, passionate, just like steadfast, mission-focused humans I've ever interacted with. The people that are, you know, like that want to be here, they want to be here, and it's not just because they need a paycheck. It's they want to be here because they want to make an impact. Whenever we created Force of Nature, we really had to like look at our business model and say like, are we going to be an online company? Are we going to be a retail company? Is this direct to consumer? Like, what does this look like? And we all sort of like sat around the table and agreed that like, this can't be an online only company. Like people have to be able to drive to the grocery store and interact with their products. And so we were like, we have to be all of it for everyone. We have to be in food service. We have to be in retail. We have to be online. Like we need as many touch points as possible because everyone needs access to nutrient-dense food. We adore and live and thrive in regenerative ecosystems, like personally, to the point where we were like, this has to be available to other people. We know how to make it happen. Like we know how to tell the stories of these ranchers that they're not able to communicate with consumers. Like we know how to connect ranchers to consumers. We know the ranchers, we know the consumers, we are both. And we need to have as many touch points as possible. You know, like the more touch points that we have, the more access that we have to people is just this huge opportunity to bring so many more people into the movement, the regenerative movement. You know, like everybody deserves to have an opportunity to play in this space, whether they own land or they don't. And, you know, voting with your dollars is really how you do it. That's how you can bring people into the regenerative movement. But where my heart goes to is like the impact that we're having on people's lives and like the impact that we're having on people's health. You know, I think about, we get emails all the time from people that are like, I was vegan and I was too scared to, you know, like contribute into the meat industry, and I found your company and like, I am literally saved. Like my life has been completely transformed because of what your meat is able to do for my body. Like it is bioavailable, nutrient-dense foods. And, you know, like the fact that they haven't been able to find that before, like it's heartbreaking, but it's also like, it warms my heart that we're having such a huge impact on like real people. You know, I guess I have two answers. I mean, part of me feels like I hope that I leave the world a better place than the one that I came into. But that looks like so many different things in our context. I really feel like I want to leave shade. I want to leave shade for my daughters. I want to leave shade for like my granddaughters, which is like sad. But Why are you crying? But it's true. Like, I feel like that sounds so silly, but I feel like the legacy I want to leave behind is shade. I want there to be living, thriving ecosystems for the animals that will inhabit them, but also for like our human species to really enjoy.